Rocket Lab has made a remarkable recovery after losing a payload during a mission failure back on July 4th. Just 8 weeks later, the company has set a launch window for its next dedicated commercial mission that spans 12 days beginning on August 27th. That is an incredible turnaround. At the end of July, Rocket Lab revealed it had received crucial FAA clearance to resume its launch activities following an internal investigation that lasted a month and identified the root cause, a component that had performed fine previously, but that hadn't gone through rigorous and thorough testing. Rocket Lab founder and CEO Peter Beck noted that they'd be able to mitigate the problem with a relatively simple change to their production process and even remedy the components on existing Electron launch vehicles. Rocket Lab's quick turnaround on this resolution and return to active launch status also has to do with the nature of the problem. The error actually resulted in an early but safe shutdown of the Electron's engines, which meant that it didn't reach its target orbit. The rocket didn't explode, however, or cause any kind of safety risk. That also meant Rocket Lab was able to easily pull data about the issue that caused the failure after the engines cut off. Other companies have endured much longer shutdown times following launch vehicle failures. SpaceX, for instance, took 4 months to return to active flight status after its 2016 pre-flight loss of a Falcon 9 with a Facebook internet satellite on board. That was a very different kind of failure, however, for all the reasons I mentioned earlier. Still, it's a sign of the resilience and flexibility of Rocket Lab's model that it's already set to begin serving paying customers again the month following its own ordeal. This self-strumming guitar can shred like no other. You've probably never seen a guitar quite like this before, or heard one like it either. The Circle guitar has a built-in sequenced picking motor that allows you to create sounds, textures, and rhythms that would be impossible with a conventional electric guitar. According to creator Anthony Dickens, that is. By using a mechanical device to strike the strings rather than a human hand, you can exceed what is physically possible and push guitar playing into new, unexplored territories, he wrote in the description of a YouTube video that shows off the prototype. All of the Circle guitar's mechanical parts are housed in a single 3D printed unit. Plectrums slotted into the rotating motor can play at up to 250 beats per minute. There are 128 slots for picks, and you can program your own strumming pattern that can sync to a DAW. As such, the Circle guitar can theoretically strum the strings 32,000 times a minute. Even someone who can play Flight of the Bumblebee at 1,600 beats per minute can't measure up to that for any sustained length of time. Given the way the motor works, you might imagine the guitar would only be good for chords that use all 6 strings. That's not quite the case. There's a hexaphonic pickup, and each string has its own output. The body of the guitar has 6 switches and buttons that can mute individual strings as well. It's a pretty clever idea, which gives the Circle guitar more utility than it would have otherwise. Best of all, the Circle guitar sounds pretty cool too. Radiohead's Ed O'Brien was impressed when he got to try it. There's no word on if or when you'll be able to buy one yourself, but you can join a mailing list if you're interested. After a great deal of hinting and teasing, so much hinting and teasing, Warner Brothers Montreal has finally revealed its brand new Batman game to the world. But, well, Batman himself isn't actually involved in it. Titled Gotham Knights, the game is coming in 2021. As expected, Gotham Knights was announced as part of DC Fandom during a 20-minute Warner Brothers Montreal panel, which included a first look at the game through cinematic and gameplay trailers, and even a brief Q&A session with its developers. The first and most important thing to know about Gotham Knights is that Batman is no more. apparently having died in an explosion. Instead, this game will see Red Hood, Robin, Nightwing, and Batgirl become the four playable characters, or vigilantes, joining forces to stop the newly emboldened criminals of Gotham from overrunning the city. 7 whole minutes of co-op gameplay was shown, over the course of which we see Batgirl and Robin teaming up and using a variety of abilities, including weapons and unique combat moves, to take on Mr. Freeze in an impressive-looking open-world Gotham City. As many excited fans theorized, based on previously released teasers and hints, the game's trailer shows that the mysterious and powerful Court of Owls will be involved, but the mystery will apparently be bigger than the court alone. The Court of Owls, created by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo for the comics, is essentially a secret society comprised of some of the most financially wealthy and morally bankrupt families in Gotham. Gotham Knights won't be Warner Bros. Montreal's first foray into the Batman universe. The studio previously developed Arkham Origins all the way back in 2013. That was, however, an entire console generation ago, so it'll be interesting to see where Warner Bros. Montreal takes this series as we go into the latest, hopefully greatest, generation. The confirmation of Gotham Knights is an exciting start to DC fandom, which is running for 24 hours on its first day, then skipping a little bit of time and going to run a second fandom event later on September 12th, 2020. But you gotta check out all the videos coming out on YouTube for this fandom event. They've got a brand new trailer for the Batman movie, which is awesome. Also a brand new trailer for the Suicide Squad video game that is coming out next year as well, that you must check out.